Greetings, Commanders. This is Stephen Benedetti, one of the community managers on Elite Dangerous, and you're listening to Loose Screws Podcast. Why would you be anywhere else? Come on down and listen. It's an awesome show.
Well, it happened again. I'm not going to impersonate the hey guys, but
hey guys.
There he goes.
Hi.
You'll be stuck with me tonight. This is Commander JN Tracks, but I promise that tonight on This Week in Fake Space, we've got news, we've got financial news, we've got story news and community goal news, and I've got some friends with me. Of course, it's Chig. How are you, sir?
Oh, you called us friends. I'm doing
it's
fine
for
and
show.
dandy. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, damn it. I'm doing good. How the hell are you?
I live on, this is a late night, late start, but we're going to have fun anyway. Also here, of course, is Commander NL Hate. Welcome. How are you?
Willkommen. It's good. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Did you turn into Stephanie Meyer?
Oh, rude, rough.
Oh, okay. You didn't have a real good grasp of the English language, so I assume that's who you were.
Very well.
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah. So what's everybody been doing for the past week? In game, out of game? Who wants to go first? Chig, go first.
Well, I've tried to play a little bit of Elite, but every time I log on in the evening, we end up playing goddamn Among Us. I hate that game, but we have played a lot of it. Even Mrs. Hate, she's on there as NL Love. She's on there. Dubs'
yeah, that's
wife
pretty great, by the way.
Dubs' wife has been playing with us. My daughter's been in the game. God, one of my daughter's friends was in there one night too. I think we had 9 of the 10 people were in our Discord one night. It was really, really, screw that game. That's all I got to say. Actual in-game, I did just a little bit of the thing where I went and fought for the dudes, collected a few bonds, and then
you must be referring to the community gold.
Yes, and then I went to Shinrarta to buy a new ship because I decided I want a new ship, and I'm still in Shinrarta. So yeah, that's been my week. Yeah.
All right. What's going on at your end, Hate?
Well, I downloaded all the updates for Warframe, and then I got the program ran a organization process, and then I verified everything. That took me about 6 hours. And then I played Warframe for about 15.
15 hours or minutes?
Yeah, 15 hours.
Oh, I was like, if you did 6 hours to get it updated and then you played 15 minutes, would have been a cooler story.
Oh my God.
Either you guys play any more Squadrons?
Just a bit. Were you playing it, Hate?
Oh yeah, I got back on my Xbox and then removed it from my hard drive so I could free up some space.
Right on, yeah.
That doesn't count as playing, but yes.
That's a perfectly fine Xbox game. Frankly, I think it's better suited for a console in a sense, but anyway, yeah, I did play some. I actually played Elite the other night. I had sort of had a week off before, but because of Squadrons, but I got sort of a little bit, I don't know, fed up with it. Like the thinness and sort of superficiality of the game of Squadrons kind of started to sink in, and I was like, wow. I found myself thinking, this $40 sale price, I almost feel like I overpaid a little bit. Now that I realize that there really is just like, there's the battle royale mode, and then there's the one with some ships. And the one with ships, boy, after you do it like 5 times, it's like, wow, this is it. This is the same thing every time. I think that game is not enough with just the game modes it has, and plus with the bugs and stuff going on. But I did turn it on, and it's fun. I think it will be a fun to jump into now and then kind of thing. But still gonna I'm gonna have a hell of a lot more hours in Elite, I can tell.
Yep.
But yeah. So so we're without our fearless leader, Commander Tyrval Ty Worsham, tonight again. And he's again just I'm going to leave it to him to kind of explain what's going on with that sometime soon, we're hoping. But of course, thoughts are with him, and we want things to kind of continue on. So we are. So we shall continue. And there's some stuff to talk about tonight. And I am, for some reason, in charge. So apparently we're going to start with the out-of-game news. The financial statements for Frontier Developments came out since we last recorded. And unless anybody's desperate to, I don't need to talk about like the details or whatever about this, but as it affects us, the company's doing quite well. And specifically mentioning Elite Dangerous, they said that they would be they're planning on revenue on their schedule through 2024, which I call up because this is a shareholder meeting, right? So specifically what that means is they're expecting the game to be generating revenue through then. So that means they can be expecting us to play it, and they wouldn't promise their shareholders that if there wasn't going to be something that was worth buying, essentially selling units of. So I think that's good.
Yeah, for me, the biggest was just how financially healthy the company is. I mean, they had said like 46 million in cash reserves or something like that is where they're sitting right now. It was just a crazy number.
Yeah, the cash reserves has gone up a lot, and they have made more than they spent. I mean, obviously, but they're a profitable company. But I mean, in the days of lockdowns and stuff, pretty much all the video game developers have been doing pretty damn well. But they definitely are going gangbusters, and the better they do, the more likely it is they'll continue to create more content for Elite into the future. Sometimes you hope those financial statements they might sneak something in about, our next planned paid update after our release this, in the coming year is in 2023, something like that. But just mentioning that they're expecting to, continue to have revenue coming in for this game through at least 2024 was telling. Yeah. That's about the size of it, as far as the financial statement is concerned. But then we also have this stuff that we had already talked about, the Dev Diary #2 kind of business, right? But yes, I see you highlighting it. Click that link. So shortly after, I guess, was it Monday or something? One of these days after. Oh, it was Friday. So it was literally the day after we recorded. There was a post made by Stephen Benedetti on the forums kind of going into some more detail. It has been almost 7 days since this came out. So I'm presuming most of the listeners have had a chance to kind of read over this and everything. But there were kind of a couple of nuggets and a couple of things that I kind of noticed, like we still kind of don't know. Let's see, what do I want to pick out here? So he goes over again about the what commanders are going to be able to do on stations. This is sort of a Q&A situation. Will there be long walks? No, it's going to be basically elevators, which are later on. There's a thing about like, is there going to be like loading screens, or is it going to be seamless? And I think he answered it in the context of those settlements where there's kind of open air between buildings, and that whole thing is loaded. You're walking in and out between the doors seamlessly, but where there are loading screens are going to be, my interpretation anyway, is like the transition to on foot. We are going to load that environment, which is similar to what we have now, right? We're loading a system. And then when we jump out of Super Cruise, now we're loading the local environment in normal space, etc.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Yeah. So like the elevators, sure, we're going to get out of our ship and we'll be in the hangar, and then we'll get into the elevator, and then we'll appear in the social hub. or whatever for that particular station.
I think it's just how they have always kind of done loading screens in this game. They're good at hiding them, which space and dropping into orbital cruise, those things like that. They've always just kind of blended them in, and that's an elevator ride is kind of going to be the loading screen,
I think so. Yeah. It's like a soft cover up, right, where something can kind of where it can appear like a very smooth transition, which is fine. It's absolutely fine. That it's not cheating.
No,
I think that was sort of the impression that they were trying to keep people from having, but like that's not a realistic
thing.
They
won't have to go like old school consoles where they'd slip a mini game in there that you could play while you were waiting for the other content to load. There won't be anything like that, completely immersion breaking. But
that would be awful. So let's see, scanning down quickly. Mission availability. I mean, they did. He made specific mention that there would be the normal mission givers still exist, but there could also be kind of specifically on foot things, people who would approach you, and those might be more important and yield greater rewards or something. So you'd have the opportunity to sort of, engage with an avatar of an NPC kind of directly, and just kind of, that's like immersion level stuff, right?
Yeah, my guess is Teflon will be the first one to try to shoot one of them in the face. But
okay, yes, this makes perfect sense. I agree.
He shoots first, asks questions later. But
right,
no, I like that. That's what I really hopeful. I mean, this game, always, it does things where I can't believe that this is actually a game type stuff. So if they can integrate some stuff, and really, really, go that next level with it, I don't see it yet. Let's see some gameplay and how this comes together.
I'm cautiously
of BGS
optimistic. Modification, and just the new and refined BGS or mission board is so exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Without leaving a system, you can undermine a rival faction while giving your own faction more influence. And I am stoked for that.
Cool. I didn't realize we couldn't do that already, so that's how much I know about BGS.
it's much more notorious to do it like that right now. But in one mission, go do an assassination for your rival faction, reduce their influence, and increase your own.
Right. Okay.
Typically, when you're in a station, you do not often get missions into the same system.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Right, because they're always going to an adjacent system.
Yep.
Actually, that is interesting in a way that I didn't think about until this moment, because that explains something I've never quite fully understood, and I don't know if I knew that I didn't understand it, but the way that I'll do a mission and then the receiving station doesn't always have the same, like I'm not necessarily turning into the same faction.
Right.
I always kind of felt like, how come I'm not turning into the same? They don't even exist here. Did I raise the influence the way I wanted to? I just wasn't sure. So apparently the answer is yes. It just doesn't.
I just thought of a cool new mission type.
Okay.
Because the BGS, you're going to be, taking control of the station. Like the last mission before, a certain faction takes over the station is murdering the guy's face that you see. Like, who's our stupid Boyce? What was his name in Ross 310?
I love Boyce.
Oh, man. I wouldn't mind seeing him assassinated. But you go and you actually
we have different dreams, dude. You and I.
You off that NPC, the leader. You actually see his face, then you actually see him in 3D. You had a sneak mission where you actually knock off the guy who's currently president in the station, and then the other power takes over. I like it. Let's do it.
What if what if he's awesome though? What if we learn a bunch of new things about these people that we've only seen the face of?
I know, but then you'd want to protect him. See, you want great characters, so people are also.
When the Fleet Carrier update came out, Bryce actually got demoted from president to director.
Oh.
How do you know that was a demotion?
I don't know. A director sounds like he actually has to do something. A president sounds like he's just the boss.
Okay. All right.
Just saying.
And Mr. on his metaphorical in-game golfing trip, to Eden or whatever, is clearly.
Yeah.
I want to play golf on a low G planet. I think I'd take the game back up.
Okay. So anyway, I think we did actually talk about the shields last time. They had mentioned that in the stream, but he clarified suits have shields. They run on a battery. Will I have an on-foot inventory? You do. And the way he describes it, it sounds like he's talking about the organic samples from the plant gun and new engineering materials that will be specifically for upgrading things that have to do with being on foot. So great. We're going to have a new whole set of stuff to memorize the names and values of, to know quickly whether or not we want to bother taking the time to collect it.
Yeah, that's really just for the long time players. I don't think that's going to be all that big a deal. It's going to be the new players where it's just be a whole nother layer of stuff.
Right. I think this game, there's a lot you can ignore for a long time. That's sort of the saving grace, right? Is because if you tried to memorize that whole engineering materials list and what name is associated with which tier and stuff like that, it's super overwhelming. But you can play this game for ages before you have to even touch engineering.
Dude, I played for a year before I played with another player. So I avoided multiplayer for a year. So yeah, you can definitely ignore certain aspects of the game.
Yeah. Let's see. What's the last one? Oh, Apex Interstellar. So this is the service that can move you between planets and star systems without a ship. Will's Apex Interstellar service now mean it's viable to travel between systems by way of taxi flights, whilst theoretically never flying your own ship. Yes, you can play the game without ever having a ship. I think there's still a lot of mystery around what that means for things like the ships you do have, but so I guess, I don't know, to me that wasn't news. I feel like he had already said that. So I only have more questions now.
Yeah, a lot of this, this whole breakdown that he did, I think was just clarification of stuff and speculation.
Sure.
But I mean, one interesting thing I heard from one of the other shows was that concept, basically you're adding even more storage in a way, because you could have, your ship full of stuff and then leave that ship, go to another system and hop on a different ship. So you could actually be storing crap in your ships. Yeah.
So now your ship has to remember what's in it, even when you're not in it. That is somewhat unconfirmed though, because they could, until it's confirmed, it could just happen like it does now.
You go to leave your ship and it says you can't leave because you have limpets.
You can't leave. Yeah, your person actually can't carry the 600 limpets that you have on you. So you need to get rid of those before you leave your ship. It could.
Hey, they said we have storage. I can't carry 600 limpets.
In the storage paragraph, though, he specifically talks about, and he doesn't say cargo. He doesn't say So anyway, I don't know. Because how could your person carry a ton of something? So it would have to be, storage would be smaller things, right?
It's a low G planet. I can carry all kinds of stuff.
Sure. That's right. Anyway, that's about the gist of it. So at this point, unless anybody's got more they want to mention about that.
I got nothing on that really. I don't know. I want to go talk to a travel agent and fly to a different planet.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so next, I think we're going to talk about what's been going on with the Squadron and the BGS.
Incoming priority message. Squadron briefing.
What the hell happened?
With the BGS or with your soundboard?
Is my soundboard wrong?
No.
It sounded right to me.
I
never know when it ends because it cuts out, it goes back.
Because Discord doesn't like the tapering off. That's why I record local. Anyway, the sound was fine. Let's all just pretend that the sound was fine. And what the hell happened with the BGS, Hate?
With the BGS. For the people that are actually doing it, go red team. Go red team. The whole bubble around Ross 310 is clean, clear, and under control. Unfortunately, over the weekend, we did have our expansion air quote misfire because we didn't have a tick for 5 days, and then we had 3 in 2 days, or 3 or 4 in 2 days. Different bots and different systems were tracking multiple ticks within an hour of each other, which was wild. So we didn't end up in LTT 16764. Let me pull up in my map because that definitely sounds right. And I have a filter set because I'm an airhead. LTT 16764. I actually got that right. Now I'm really excited. But that's okay. It wasn't a huge system. The huge system is where we plan to take Ross 2 next. The 640 Cassiopeia, which is a 4 billion population system and is going to double our effective population once we have control of that system. And over on the leaderboards for our squadron, that's going to push us up well over probably over the 30 mark into like competitive with like big names. My personal mark right now is for us to get caught up to the Terra X Astro Corp or past them on that leaderboard.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
A big old call out for my friend who I've never talked to, cryptography. English is failing me at the moment. And I do want to give a big old shout out to everybody who has been working on it. I'm real excited for Pepper Grinder, who's getting ready to come back on the grind.
All right. Yeah, I actually ran a couple of missions even, if you can believe it. Just a couple.
Just a couple.
Well, I want to know, did fDev ever say anything about what the hell happened with the ticks? I know in our Discord, everybody was like, what's going on? There's no tick. And then other Discords I pop into, everybody's like, what the hell? So any word on what it was?
I only saw a couple of tweets that we figured out what the problem was and it should all proceed. And then like something about another one that was like basically like it has been tracking everything and it's all just going to happen now, which seems to be basically what happened, right?
No.
No?
Too many days. LTT 16764. The last 2.
Well,
there's a cooldown.
Well, yeah, our goals didn't happen, but like it did seem to what am I trying to say here? Like it seems like the server did just kind of like push everything through suddenly, like it had been on pause.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, does that give us any insight as to how that works? Does somebody actually have to manually force that tick each day? I'd assumed it was just kind of a maintenance thing they had set in where it would just do it every day.
I feel like an event like this would be evidence that it is automatic, right? Because
it is automatic. It's tracked separately from the star server that hosts all the systems. A different server actually hosts the BGS.
Okay.
It's queued up to a clock, and someone probably paused the clock, and that's why nothing happened. Being that both have the option, there were some coarse things said in our BGS channel as well, discussion channel.
Well, that's why I was curious. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out. I mean, is all the new Galnet stuff and everything just somebody just didn't do their job? I just don't know. It just seems weird.
For me, it sort of seems like if it was somebody's job to push this button, then it wouldn't have been more than an hour late at most, not days. It had to have been an automatic process that, for one thing, took a while to notice that it had failed, and then couldn't be deciphered for a while.
Because you'd think there'd be somebody whose job it is just to make sure that all your updates and things are working as intended.
Dav,
or just working at all. It just quit working.
Dav at Frontier Developments is typically the guy that's in control of the servers, but all that stuff happened on a 3-day weekend.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, all right. Well, that adds another wrinkle to the whole thing, huh?
Yeah. And I don't want to call Dav out because I really want him on our show because I have some questions.
I have some questions.
All right. Well, so what are we doing right now? We're kind of proceeding, right? Some things didn't happen that we wanted to, but we're still proceeding. Yes.
We need to take control of the Quama system. We're in it. We've been in it. Holy crap! What a weight off of my shoulders.
Oh yeah.
Of Quama, Sammy, and then we need to start some secondary control conflicts in V740 Cassiopeia, because we're so lucky that we have 2 different numbers in the same constellation.
Yeah.
All right, systems
cool.
are we in
Kama's
now?
where I was running missions, so.
Yep. And we're going to put Bumper on the back burner. We're not going to be extending out of there anymore because it doesn't reach anything that we really want.
Okay. How many systems are we in now?
Yeah, how many total systems?
That is a really good question, and the number changes every other day. I'll look it up.
Yeah, I was looking on Inara, I was trying to see where to see it, and for some reason it's not where I've seen it in the past. I will say, and in the last week and a half, we're over 100 members in game now in the squadron.
Yeah.
There's been a fair number of applications just in the last week.
When we got into Alexandrius yesterday or this morning, that was our 9th system.
Okay, wow.
All right.
And our goal is 400 billion, is that correct?
Humans only operate.
I thought you wanted complete galactic domination. My bad.
No, those people out in Colonia are pretty cool. They can stay there.
Okay. Well, we'll leave them be.
We don't want to take over Colonia today. All right. Well, what do you say we move on and do a little Chig Chat?
Sure.
Eh? All right.
It's Chig Chat. Yeah, that's a fact. It's Chig Chat. Where the cheese at?
We here at Loose Screws never end a sentence with a preposition.
Forgot about the great reverb I used in that.
It's amazing. You and your sound talk. I don't know what you're talking
that's
about.
all me, right? Every voice in that, except for Ty's voice, of course.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, it's like 15 of me.
That's damn impressive.
With a bunch of pitch shifting and other such fun. I moved around the room and did things with my voice to sound like different people. Anyway, that's how you make music if you want to make music that sounds like that.
I picture you doing like this. I'm not even going to say what I was going to say. I don't know, like a Beastie Boys kind of dance where you're crossing your hands and doing all that stuff and bouncing around the room. I see it.
Yeah.
It's disturbing thought. I need to get that thought out of my head. All right. This week's Chig Chat is going to be just, I'm looking for some books to read. I've started actual reading again instead of just audio books and stuff. So I've been reading some stuff lately. But one thing I want to give you guys a recommendation first. One book series comes to mind just with the way current events are in the world right now. And it just seems like, with Facebook and everything else, seems like, PR and propaganda and everything seems to be everywhere. There's a really good book series from back in the 80s. This is one of my favorite authors, and I'm not a Scientologist. L. Ron Hubbard is just super freaking cool. He's like in the Guinness Book of World Records for the most published pieces between short stories and novels and everything else. I mean, he was prolifically published, in science fiction magazines and digests and everything. I mean, he wrote a lot. I mean, his probably, most famous stuff is, obviously, Dianetics and stuff, where Scientology was born. And, the guy just didn't want to pay taxes and created a religion on a bet. And now it's this goofy thing with Tom Cruise, and they take people's money and tie them up and stuff. I don't know what they do. It's crazy if you watch any of the documentaries. Rough. But if you ignore his politics and, well, it's not politics, his religions,
it's just fraud. But
it was absolutely just fraud. But what religion isn't? We'll get that.
Oops. Okay.
Oops. Carrying on. Like his probably most famous book is Battlefield Earth. It's just one book. It's over 1,000 pages, I believe. It's a great read. It's an absolute great read. But my favorite piece of work by him is a series called Mission Earth. I'd love for somebody to hop in Chig Chat and tell me that they love that book. They read that as a kid or whatever, or read it as an adult. I don't know. It came out in the mid 80s, and I think I read it when I was 13, 14 years old. It's a 10-book series. I think I reread the series twice after that, because it was just, I don't know. It was crazy. That the basis is like this other planet needs to come to Earth to take over. I don't remember what resources they're coming to get. And the main character is like an agent for like their, intelligence bureau, who's being sent along to sabotage the mission the whole time it's going on, the Mission Earth. And he's just kind of a bumbler a little bit. He's not the smartest guy, but like his favorite thing in the book, his thing is psychology. Psychology is the most genius thing ever. And his hero is Bugs Bunny, because Bugs Bunny always fools Elmer Fudd. Seriously, it's hilarious, because he's learning from watching cartoons and Earth stuff. Another big part of it is, at one point they need to sabotage, the hero of the story, who and a big thing they did is hire up a PR guy. We had to get the best PR guy there is. And they end up getting this guy out of jail who went too far, and just watching him manipulate the media in this book. And I mean, in the series, I mean, this is 10 books. This is like 5,000, 6,000 pages of reading. I highly, highly recommend it. It's a satire, but it's really science fiction-y. There's science involved. I mean, L. Ron Hubbard was a great science fiction author, and he's really good at characters.
That was his real deal.
And as this series goes, it's the satire and the look at human society. And if you read this series today, my guess is it's going to hold even more true than it did back in the 80s, when they were making fun of what America was like, in the days of Miami Vice and shit like that. The 80s were crazy. It's even crazier today, and it's just evolved to the point where it's even truer to what this book series is. So I'd recommend that if anybody's looking for a great book. But I'm looking for another series. I've never, like, usually you end up with like trilogies and stuff like that, like Vampire Chronicles or, Star Wars stuff, and I'm looking for another like big, huge series. Obviously the Expanse series out there. I haven't touched the books yet because I love the TV show so much. I'm going to wait till the show's over. Then I'm going to go back and read the books, because
so you can get the full enjoyment of the show before you let the book realize that the show was ruining it.
Exactly. Along those lines. Usually, though, I'm really good at keeping my medium separate. I really. They're two different art forms, and they're two different ways of telling a story. So I'm never one to say, oh, the book was way better than this, or the movie was better. It's rare that you'll say the movie was better, because you can get into your so deep into your own head and thoughts in a book. But
Precisely.
I love the video medium for all kinds of stuff. So if something's really good,
Yeah.
I'll go back and read the book after the fact if I want more information. You know, like Game of Thrones, you know, I had read like the first book of that many moons before the series started. So then I really enjoyed the series because I had forgotten enough about the book, but still remembered just enough that I'm like, okay, this is reminding me of that. And then, you know, after a few seasons, then went back and read the books again. So I wasn't constantly doing that terrible comparison. You know, I prefer to just enjoy the one and then do the other one when one is complete.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you, man. I like movies a lot. Well, also like movies have sound design where books can't. And that's something I get a lot of out of a good film. But separately, as long as they're separate, they're both great. They can both be great. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'd almost always rather watch if both are already out, I'd prefer to always watch the movie first so I don't get that comparison as instantly. A movie's hard to watch, especially a movie. It's only a couple hours. So if you've spent hours reading a book and then you go watching the movie, you already know everything that's going to happen in the movie. I don't know. And if the movie's terrible, like I won't even give the book a chance. Most of the time, I just because of the story. But then, like one of my all-time favorite books is Ender's Game, and the book was phenomenal. And then the movie came out, many years later with Harrison Ford and stuff. And the movie was good, but missed the real theme at the end that the book had, and that kind of ruined it for me. But then again, the movie was still really good. So I don't know.
Series, right?
What was that?
Ender's Game was a series.
Yeah, it was a series. Started as a single book, and then it grew into a series because I think that was Orson Scott Card's like first really big seller. Well, critically acclaimed anyway, because of the fact it was kids and stuff. It threw people off. A lot of critics
honestly
didn't know what to think of it.
I think the other 7 books were better than just Ender's Game.
Yeah,
that doesn't not make sense, right?
It doesn't not make sense.
Well, because
negatives. No, I'm with you. Yeah.
Well, because he got better. I mean, that's like he just kind of figured out what was working and what wasn't working, maybe, right?
Well, if you separate just Ender's Game from the 8-book series, well, the other 7 books, they're like some of the characters are shared, and they're clearly shared. They're the same characters, but the whole story for all the other books, because all the other books are part of the series based on everything that happened to the side characters during Ender's Game or after it.
Mm-hmm.
The other 7 books are a fantastic series, and like if you're doing like extra reading for lore, that would be that first book, Ender's Game.
Okay. Yeah, because see, I loved Ender's Game was just I loved how that book built up to where it was. Then the ending was phenomenal. And then the second book, was that the one with like the pig people?
Yep.
Okay. And then I read that one. And then I think I read the third one. Then I don't think I ever finished the series. But I think they were still coming out back when I was reading them.
Is that well, I was about to ask Kate what you had. Ender's Game then.
Yes? No, Dune.
Dune, right.
There you go. Since the movie got pushed off a year, I could have all those reread before then.
I feel so bad. The Butlerian Jihad from before Dune is a good series of books, and Dune and the Children of Dune and everything after separately also a good series of books because they can be read independently even though their stories are a part of the same timeline.
Okay.
See, Herbert, he's heavier. There's no way you could refer to Frank Herbert as light reading. I mean, just he the language that he uses, and then all the crazy names he comes up with. I mean, it's a commitment to get into the Dune books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, oh God, yeah, I love Dune, the Bene Gesserit and the Quidditch Hatterack and all that crazy shit. Yeah, I got to get back into that. I haven't read that since freshman year of college. And for those keeping count, that was a long time ago.
I heard Chig was old.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that I read that and it was engraved on stone tablets.
I think Frank Herbert did stone.
What do you got, Trax?
Okay. So I feel like I have talked about this on this show before. Like, books have come up and this has been once again my go-to thing. But in case I didn't, or in case somebody hasn't heard it yet, my current best rec for like a sci-fi-y kind of thing is going to be, it's not a series actually, it's just this one book called All Are Wrong Todays, or all, shoot, it's confusing. Anyway, I think it's All Are Wrong Todays. And the premise here, as far as I know, this guy was like a one-off author, or at least nothing else that's big. So the premise is written from the first person of this guy who essentially says, I'm from the future, but it's a different future. And it's a future in which we had like the basic, the what do you say, MacGuffin of the thing, the thing that makes this story take place is they have discovered, or somebody built this machine that essentially gives you limitless energy. It's sort of, it's hand-wavium in sci-fi, but it harnesses the rotation of the Earth to give energy. So suddenly humanity doesn't have any energy costs anymore, and they can just concentrate on whatever pursuit is like beneficial and interests them, everyone. And so like technology goes crazy and everything's super advanced and extremely clean and the environment is fine. And like your clothes, like our nano machines sew themselves together and take themselves apart at the beginning and end of each day. So everything's perfectly clean all the time, and the air is, recycled all the time. Anyway. And the main character, this isn't spoiler town. This happens like right at the beginning. He's talking about the story, but basically he's involved in this project, and they're trying to do time travel, and he screws up something. He does the time travel and he screws up the creation of this energy machine. So he basically deletes his timeline. And he shows up in ours. So he's in the reality of the reader, and he's saying, no, this is wrong. Like, your reality is shit and everything is polluted and your clothes are disgusting and you have to burn old dinosaur bones to drive around in cars. This is horrible. And he's like, so he spends the book like trying to figure out what he did wrong and fix it. And it starts out like kind of like that. It's like, oh, that's interesting. But it is stunningly brilliant, and the writing is so clever. There's these moments where you read something that is super confusing, and it's like this one chapter that's like half a page long, and it's amazing. It's wicked confusing, and then at the end of the book, it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of doubles back on itself because, of course, it's a time travel trope, right? So there are things in there that you're not going to figure out until later because it hasn't happened yet, sort of.
What's the name of this one again?
All Are Wrong. Did you post a link? Yeah. All Are Wrong Tomorrows. Or All Are Wrong Todays. I always see, that's the thing. I always say All Are Wrong Tomorrows because I think there's like a word play in there on some kind of other title or something. But All Are Wrong Todays.
Other one, and now you're in this one.
What's the matter?
You're from the other timeline, and now you're in this one.
Yeah, right.
So All You're Wrong Todays. Got it. All right.
All Are Wrong Todays. Anyway, really, really great. If you wanted a series and one more, the one that I'm reading through right now is the Magicians series, which is like a fantasy thing about magic and dragons and stuff.
Is that the one that's the Netflix series is based off of?
It's I think it's not Netflix, but yeah, they did
Amazon Prime.
They did /R making a series out of it.
Okay.
Yes.
I think I started watching the series at one point and got like, I don't know, 5 or 6 episodes in and couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's probably not for everybody. I don't think it's like a masterpiece like this first thing, but it is pretty cool. I'm working my way through the 3rd book now, and it's pretty cool. Anyway. Cool.
So people, come to the Discord, give us suggestions. Chig Chat.
That's a fact. Okay, so is it time to talk about the story stuff that's been going on in Elite? What have we here? So last week there was this CG where we were either defending or trying to arrest Liz Ryder, and Team Liz Ryder won handily. Oh no, see, I'm going back 2 weeks. See, this is the thing. I took a week off and I didn't really play the game last week. So that had already ended. The next one was, let me get this straight. The next one was the Denton, Petraeus and stuff says, oh shoot, I guess we were wrong about trying to behead Liz Ryder.
Yeah, sorry, Liz.
Sorry, Liz. See you later. And then he says, oh, but now we're going to attack these people and try to take over their system, and we're all supposed to believe him again.
Doesn't Liz look kind of like the kid who owns the toys in Toy Story? That's random.
I don't have the picture in front of me, but that's very funny. Anyway, so the next thing that pops up is, once again, I want to take over this system because I said so from Denton Petraeus. The thing that I'm finding interesting about this one, though, is the Team Empire ends up winning, but not because of greater player participation or greater player success. They actually turned in much fewer combat bonds, but their goals were set much lower. Or the Empire's team's goals was set much lower. So even though, essentially way more credits were put on the board for the enemies of the Empire, or the enemies of this particular section of the Empire, they still won. So what do we think? This seems to me like there's an invisible hand on the thumb here, and I can't help but think, when they say the players get to decide what's happening in the story, and then I turn around and see something like this that's so tilted so that even when a majority of players are fighting for one side, that side doesn't win because they simply set the numbers wrong.
I could definitely see that. It seems like they're trying to... I'm pretty sure they've got the contingencies if the other side wins, but they're definitely making it really easy. One side... making it easier for one side to win over the other. Like,
it's tilted.
In the one round where it's like, kill Liz and these systems become Empire systems, or... That one
was pretty even.
We'll give you... Yeah, but they'll give you... The reward was so much better on the other side. So this,
that's true.
That it made it like it was obvious who was going to win that one. I mean, everybody wanted the new shiny rather than just changing some systems and getting a new engineer name. Because
sure,
everything else was going to be the same. And now this last one, they did have it, weighted in a certain direction. And the other side, you were fighting for the dudes. So I was, that's the side I fought for. Made the choice easy.
The dudes.
The players have spoken. One side definitely won over the other. The storyline might be dictating one thing, but maybe the important people that were actually at risk of just being outright executed are not being executed, even though it appears as though the free Republican Marlinists have appeared to have lost. They may have had their life expectancy extended.
Oh, really?
Since we may not have lost, and the Empire may not have actually 1. And until the Thargoid CG ends that just started today and has, give me just a moment, already earned 3.6 billion with a B credits.
Well, Thargoids are worth a lot more per kill.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what are you insinuating here? They're not
the Marlinus storyline is not over yet.
Yeah.
And until the current CG is over and we can get back to the Empire storyline, all we have to do right now is to sit and have it look like we lost, even though the players spoke in numbers and with guns.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, no denying or arguing that the story is not over yet. But you sound a lot less suspicious of it than I was. I came away with sort of a bit of a negative feeling about it because it's what it says to me. If they say, well, the players are going to choose, and then one of these pops up that is so clearly tilted from design, that suggests to me that, like, was this one more important, that it needed to go this way for the future sections of the story, so they decided to tilt it. And at that point, like, so as a player, I'm only allowed to make the unimportant decisions. But it seems like you maybe think that it's actually part of the story in a good way, that it was overly tilted.
Sure.
I was distracted by Chig's pictures. Yes, it may have been tilted because they knew that our Halloween event was coming.
Needed to end a little sooner, huh?
Yeah. I'm definitely heated about having not done Mo better in that CG.
Oh, I see.
Well, no.
Well, I didn't play in it at all. I ignored it completely. I took the week off.
I crept in for a little while, but what? And now this week, is it Thargoids?
Yeah,
it is. So the Witchhead Nebula has a few stations have been attacked in the Witchhead Nebula, or at least the Thargoid presence has erupted. My understanding is there are not conflict zones. It's not a full-fledged, what do they say, incursion state.
Right.
But there are Thargoids to defend against, and the CG is paying big rewards for turning in those combat bonds beyond the normal pay. So everyone's rushing out there. I believe a few carriers took off in that direction. Were organized in our chat earlier today. I will probably participate the next time I have a chance to sit down, I guess.
Yeah, I haven't squashed a bug in a while, so I think I might get out there this week.
Yeah, Thargoid's fun. Actually, I've been meaning, I sort of, I converted my FDL actually over to Thargoid setup, and I don't think I've finished re-engineering it, but all the special effects were set, so I could just finish it anytime. So maybe I'll finish putting that together, and that'll be fun. A fun change.
Yeah, I always want to get out and kill more Thargoids, and something else always comes up. Usually it starts with a C, ends with a C, and has a Q in the middle, but I definitely, I want to get out there, and hopefully I get some more game time soon so I can get out there. And then this week, it's been that stupid Among Us. So sus.
Yeah, I still have never played a game of that.
Don't do it.
I probably, that's the kind of game that I would play with my not elite game friends, right? This is the game you play with the non-gamers.
Yeah.
Well, like, Hate's wife was in there. Dubs' wife was in there. Yeah. So definitely you can do that, but gamers definitely, like Dubs once again is stupid good at it. He's just, He's a gamer.
Gamers
at heart,
be gaming.
Teflon, but it's a game that seems pretty simple. But the more you play,
there's depth.
There's a whole lot of depth, and when you start really getting into it, you can see some just crazy finishes to that game too. It's hilarious. So it's fun. Enough talking about that. What were we talking about? Killing bugs. All right.
Yeah, killing bugs. So for those who do want to participate, I was talking with some people earlier today. The reward for being in the top 75% of this is going to be unlocking the Guardian frame shift booster for you and placing a size 4 version of the module in storage for you. So this is a quick little jump start for those of you who have not unlocked that yet. Some people were talking about putting together their first time thargoid builds, and it really does kind of to be effective in thargoid combat, you really does require the Guardian Gauss cannon to be unlocked. But there's no saying you can't either battle scouts, which can be killed with stuff that can be unlocked to the technology broker, and AX multi-cannons are a good idea, although it's a bit slower. Those are very not very effective against the larger thargoids, but you could run support too. We were setting up somebody who was planning on heading out there, and it's like, well, you don't have the Gauss cannons. Well, maybe just load a couple of flak launchers, be distraction for the swarm, get some Healy beams to help, and repair limpets and stuff to help your buddies. And
I wish there was a fighter with a Healy beam on it.
Right. There is not one of those.
That would be super cool. That should have been the reward for this one, instead of the Guardian frame shift booster, giving us a Guardian fighter that has a Healy beam, or a size 6 Guardian frame shift booster. That would have been cool.
Oh, that would be insane.
Gives you 18 or something. Yeah. It would have been cool if something new and crazy would have been put in here.
Something true and wild. I think honestly the rewards have to be a little bit less enticing than that.
No, they need to be insane. Like a wormhole generator so I can get to Beagle Point in an hour. Not asking for too much.
No, of course not. Well, also, let's see, what else is going on? Bray landing in the yuanji system has reduced the unlock cost for all Guardian modules as part of the CG.
Ooh,
nice.
You said the not Guardian stuff isn't as useful as the Guardian stuff. I do want to inform you that the advanced multi-cannon comes in size 1 and 2, can be engineered for long range up to 7 kilometers, and can synthesize AX weapon or AX ammo.
Yeah, but the damage is really low, and considering how much you're going to need to synth when you're aiming a fixed multi-can at 7 clicks, yeah, I mean, I do wish
scrub.
I could engine. Oh, okay. Okay. It's a multi-cannon. It's not a railgun. I do wish I could engineer my Gauss cannon, because I do wish I could get more than 3 clicks out of it, but
just
I don't know,
a
whatever.
low heat version would be nice too. Just any kind of engineering
that
on those would be
hurt.
badass.
That wouldn't hurt. I think I would go for a long range. What?
Soon TM question mark?
On engineering Guardian? I have no idea. That could go either way.
Oh, Odyssey is supposed to have more engineers.
I'm waiting for all the Guardian stuff to go sentient on us and kill us.
I'm predicting more engineers than Odyssey is talking about the engineers for stuff that's on your suit. Not. Although, whatever, that would be story progression, I guess. But that is kind of part of the whole angle is there's a drawback, right? To you are sacrificing something by using the Guardian weapons. I actually think that the thing that really needs to change first about the Guardian weapons is the fact that the Gauss cannon ends up being kind of too far ahead. Like the others would be a lot of fun, and they need to be brought more in line with that, I think, so that it's a stylistic choice, right? And not
or
just
if different thargoids were more susceptible to different thargoid weapons, so you had to kind of pick and choose. You had to gear up properly in order to fight different thargoids. Something like that even would be good instead of just the Goss being the god.
It just does, just is the only one strong enough to make you truly effective.
Yeah, it's the true meta. Yeah, it's if you're gonna go kill them, you should do that.
Yeah, and I've seen Thargoids go down from shard cannons before, just because it's just a lot. But you're brute forcing it. It's a different game. And then the plasma charger would be a good skill based weapon, but it's just not effective enough. It's just not, and that's a shame. Because they're in the game, but they do not get used in any real way.
It would be really cool if the Thargoids were more like a raid boss, where you had to have, some guys need shards to get the armor off the heart. Then to fully expose, you need to hit it with Gauss cannons. Then to finish it off, you need plasmas. Where you have to use teamwork. One ship could have a few of each guns, but it would just take you forever. But if you had a team working on it, then where you needed heals or people had to be out there healing, and then other people had to be dealing with the swarm. It would be cool if it was true raid boss that required coordination. But instead, once you learn the rules, you can solo any of them in just about any ship.
Oh, right. People have, and there is still a very high skill ceiling for that, obviously, but
way up there.
It's not like we think I don't think
and patience
are effortless and patience. Yeah, it takes hours, but we could. I could definitely see coming. Whatever the next Thargoid is going to be. I think at this point, we've got such a difficulty scale up to Hydra now. I think the next thing has to be the mothership kind of deal, where you could see it's maybe not whatever. Who knows what it's going to be? I don't need to go shooting down your ideas. From this game, I guess I would presume that it would kind of go more in line with the direction that megaships go now, where there'll be specific target points that then you advance the battle to the next mode. Which is a little bit similar to what Thargoids are now. You hit them to protrude the heart, or whatever we say, exert the heart.
Yeah, but imagine if you
fire on it.
Yeah, imagine if they were really big and when you'd exert the heart, it opened up a compartment that only a small ship or a fighter could go into, and then you had to do
and you have
something.
to hit the exhaust port.
Just exactly a whole Star Wars type thing, but it's just more coordination. Makes it
send
so
your Guardian fighter
a small ship. Yeah, there you go. Stay on target. Why'd you turn off your targeting computer? Dumbass,
stabilize
turn that thing
rear
on.
deflectors. Watch for enemy fighters.
Let's. Oh my God, some Jack Porkins. No, I'm
that would be great.
On board,
that would be fabulous.
But
and
it would
if
give
we had to go in there
and have multiple size ships, that's all that I'm saying. The coordination and the requirement to have different size ships.
Mm-hmm. Right, and not just in a wing, mostly to brute force.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Which is fine. We do Thargoids, and it's sort of one person starts getting too much aggro, you take some off, and they run off and recharge the shields for a while, and between all of us, we manage to take the thing down, or the good players, the good with a U players that do it all themselves. That's great. That's great for you guys. I am not that good, but anyway. That's the goings on. Is there other news and stuff? What don't I know about? Tell me the answers.
You know more than I do. Hate knows more than any of us, man. What do you know, Hate?
I don't know how to create a public holiday system state.
Okay. I don't know that either.
If anybody has ruminations, get a hold of me.
Does Google know?
No.
I thought that was announced as one of the like quasi-random ones.
That's news to me. I also want to know how to trigger a blight state, because that affects markets in a very particular way, and I want to be able to...
Think you got to do that with poison, sir.
I just want to know the average fight speed of a spring-laden swallow.
What do you mean? African or European swallow?
That's my...
I don't know. This seems like a show to me, man.
Hey, that's fine. Well, hey, we pulled it off. We did it, guys. We did it. If you all would gladly come and find us in Discord and join the chat, we've had a lot of new people flowing in, and that's awesome. New friends are wonderful, and we love you all. Find the links on our website, which is loosescrewsed.com. There you will also find a merch store where you can get like sweatshirts and mugs and stuff.
And the sweatshirt, the sweatshirts my daughter got and I got, they are really good quality. They're nice. I was impressed. So just I'd give that plug.
Yeah, buy it. Wear the gear. Tell people that you're a little loose and pretty screwy. They won't be mad about that. And if they are, you didn't need those people anyway. You didn't need those people. You know what I mean? This is going off the rail a little bit. So anyway, this was the Loose Screws podcast. I honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I can't remember if I even said that. I think I might have accidentally called us This Week in Fake Space. That's my memory. So I guess we'll find out when I go and play this back.
Saying our name at the beginning, if they're listening, they probably downloaded it, so they probably already knew. So,
right, I guess when you say the name of your podcast right at the beginning, you're really only catching the folks whose podcast players are just on like auto and
just randomly grabbing stuff.
Yeah,
I bet we have a lot of those.
I'm sure we have a lot of randos.
And you forgot to say, make sure you rate, share,
like, comment, and subscribe. Smash that bell.
So smash it.
Smash that bell. No, that is actually a great point. Rating the show on your podcast feed reader of choice will help a lot of other people's podcast feed readers accidentally put us on auto mode, and then they won't know who I am because I don't introduce the show at the beginning. And so if you want to cause that hilarity to happen to a stranger, please write a review. Otherwise, that's about the size of it. Still waiting for hate mail. So I think there's nothing. What?
Send hate. Please send your hate mail. I want to hear.
Please send hate your mail. I mean, I forget.
All the fingers about the things that Chig and Trex said in this show tonight that I did not be a part of, even though hate's in my name and the stuff they said was hateful. Give me your. I want
to. Okay, I think we just need a cheese.
Cheese. All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go cottage cheese. Believe it or not.
Yuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God. I was gonna say it can be a controversial one because some people just goddamn hate it. I think it's a texture thing for a lot of people though, more than anything.
Well, no. To me, it's in the family of soapy cheeses. It tastes like soap to me, like blue cheese and goat cheese.
Oh, you've got that genetic disorder.
I've got a gene. Now, my wife and 5-year-old daughter love cottage cheese.
Yeah.
To me, it tastes like soap.
Whole gallon of cottage.
Yeah, I can just mow that shit down. It comes in, small curd, large curd. I mean, basically all that cottage cheese is they make the cheese, but they just pour off the whey instead of compressing and getting all the moisture out and turning it into an actual block of cheese. They usually will put some cream in there too to thicken up the whey a little bit, and that's cottage cheese.
It's like a proto cheese.
But like reading about it, and they're like, they were saying other things, you can have it with yogurt, and I've never really mixed it with yogurt. I've seen people put fruit in it and stuff like that.
Yeah, that seems to be the
They
common
said it
serving.
could be a replacement for mayonnaise. I never thought of doing that, putting it on a sandwich as a mayonnaise replacement. So I might have to try that.
I need to go
if that would work. Gotta go make a sandwich?
Gotta go make a sandwich.
All right, have your wife make me one.
Yikes.
I think he actually ran away and made a sandwich.
All right, everybody. Hey, we'll be here next week. I hope you will too. That's it. Signing off.
Bye.
Bye.